I'm sorry, but this lounge is for premium members only. The words came with a smile that didn't reach the attendant's eyes as she blocked the entrance to the airline's exclusive VIP lounge. Behind her, through the frosted glass doors, the Henderson family could see leather chairs, a champagne bar, and the kind of quiet luxury that promised respite from the chaos of the main terminal. David Henderson held up 3 invitation cards, thick, embossed, unmistakably legitimate. We were invited. These cards. Sir, those invitations are for qualified guests. The attendant's eyes flicked over the family, David, his wife Monica, and their teenage daughter Zoe, with barely concealed skepticism. I'll need to verify your eligibility. Around them, other passengers walked through those glass doors without question. A man in a rumpled golf shirt flashed a card and was waved through. A woman in yoga pants scrolled through her phone as she entered, barely acknowledged. But the Hendersons? They had to wait. We've been traveling for 14 hours, Monica said, exhaustion evident in her voice. These invitations were sent directly to my husband by the airline itself. Ma'am, I understand, but protocol requires verification for certain guests. Certain guests. The words hung in the air like smoke. Zoe, 16 and sharp-eyed, pulled out her phone. The gesture wasn't lost on the attendant, whose professional smile tightened into something closer to a grimace. What happened next would expose the truth about who gets trusted and who gets questioned. About invitations that aren't really invitations when the wrong people try to use them. And about a family whose identity would shock everyone in that lounge, if only they'd been given the chance to enter in the first place. Because when those VIP lounge doors finally opened for the Henderson family, it wouldn't be because the attendant changed her mind. It would be because someone inside recognized exactly who they were turning away. And the fallout would change everything. The standoff. 23 minutes. That's how long the Henderson family stood outside that lounge entrance while Olivia, the attendant, made her verification calls. David watched through the glass as she spoke animatedly to colleagues inside, occasionally glancing back at his family with an expression that walked the line between suspicion and discomfort. Around them, other travelers slowed to watch. Some pulled out phones. The performance of discrimination in real time. Dad, this is ridiculous, Zoe muttered, her thumb hovering over the record button on her phone. Everyone else just walked in. I know, baby. So why are we still standing here? It was a question David had been asking himself his entire life, in different forms, in different places. Why do we have to work twice as hard? Why do we have to prove ourselves repeatedly? Why is our presence always treated as suspicious until proven otherwise? Monica's hand found his, squeezing tight. They'd been married for 18 years, and she could read his frustration even when his face remained calm. We can leave, she whispered. Go to the regular waiting area. It's not worth this. But David thought about the embossed invitation in his pocket. The one that read, Global Air is honored to invite you as a distinguished speaker at our International Business Leaders Forum. The one that promised VIP treatment throughout their journey to Cape Town. Distinguished. Until you tried to use the distinction. No, David said quietly. We're not leaving. We belong here. Through the glass, David could see Olivia now speaking with a woman in a sharp business suit, probably a manager. The manager's eyes widened as she looked at something on Olivia's screen, then out at the Henderson family. Her expression shifted from bureaucratic boredom to something that looked like panic. She rushed toward the entrance, pushing the glass doors open with enough force to make them swing wide. Mr. Henderson? Her voice was breathless, mortified. Dr. David Henderson? David's title hung in the air. Doctor. Not medical, but a PhD in economics from Stanford. Not that it should have mattered. Not that any credential should be required to be treated with basic respect. Yes, David said simply. I'm Claire Murphy, the lounge operations manager. I am so sorry for this delay. She shot a look at Olivia that could have melted steel. Your invitation and status were confirmed the moment you checked in. There was absolutely no need for any verification. Please come in immediately. But David didn't move. Why did Olivia need to verify our invitation when no one else's was questioned? Claire's professional mask cracked. There was clearly a miscommunication. Was it a miscommunication? Monica's voice was sharp. Or did your employee see a black family with VIP invitations and assume we didn't belong? Silence. The kind that answers questions without words. Zoe stepped forward, her 16-year-old directness cutting through the diplomatic dance. That man in the golf shirt walked right in. That woman on her phone walked right in. 7 other people walked right in while you made us wait. Want to guess what they all had in common? Claire looked at the teenager, then at the growing crowd of witnesses, then at the phones recording every moment of this encounter. You're absolutely right, she said quietly. And I have no excuse. What happened here is unacceptable, and Olivia will be suspended immediately pending a full investigation. Suspended? David's eyebrows rose. So she can come back after this blows over? Mr. Henderson. Because that's usually how this goes, isn't it? A few days of paid leave, maybe some sensitivity training, then right back to the same behavior. Claire's jaw tightened. I assure you, we take discrimination very seriously. Then prove it, David said. Right now. In front of all these people. Tell me, and them, what's really going to change? The generosity. Actually, Amara said quietly, I'd like to purchase tickets for everyone. Rachel blinked. Excuse me? Everyone from Flight 2847. I'd like to buy them all tickets on other airlines so they can get to their destinations tonight. The gate area went silent. Every conversation stopped. Every head turned. Rachel's professional mask slipped. That would be over 200 tickets. I'm aware. That would cost. I know what it would cost. Amara pulled out her credit card, Black American Express, Unlimited. Can you do it, or should I speak with your supervisor? For the first time since Amara had approached the desk, Rachel actually looked at her. Really looked at her. And Amara could see the calculations happening behind her eyes, the reassessment, the confusion, the dawning horror of who she might have been dismissing for the past 20 minutes. I'm not sure I have the authority. Then get someone who does. Within minutes, a supervisor appeared, a middle-aged man named Tom whose eyes widened when Rachel explained the situation. Ma'am, Tom said carefully, purchasing tickets for 200 passengers on different airlines. We're talking about potentially $150,000 or more. I understand. And you want to do this because... Amara looked around at the stranded passengers, many of whom were now gathered around, listening in disbelief. Because I've been invisible at this desk for 20 minutes. Because I'm exhausted and frustrated and treated with disrespect. Because I know what it feels like to be unseen, dismissed, and devalued. She paused. But instead of just being angry about it, I'd rather do something good. These people deserve to get home. And I can help make that happen. The young woman who defended Amara started crying. An elderly man near the back removed his cap, as if he was in church. Tom nodded slowly. It's going to take some time to arrange. I have time now. I'll wait. Amara smiled slightly. Besides, waiting seems to be something I'm good at. The dig landed. Rachel had the decency to look ashamed. For the next 2 hours, airline staff worked frantically to book alternative flights. Different airlines, different routes, whatever would get people to their destinations. A mother with 3 kids got routed through Dallas. A businessman made a connection through Denver. An elderly couple got direct flights to their daughter's wedding. One by one, passengers approached Amara, some with tears, some with handshakes, all with gratitude. Why are you doing this? Asked a woman holding a toddler. Because kindness should be louder than cruelty, Amara said simply. As the hours passed, something remarkable happened. The mood in the gate area transformed. Strangers shared food. People helped each other with luggage. Someone started a group chat to keep everyone updated on their flights. The community that formed in those hours was born from Amara's generosity. Rachel approached Amara near the end, her eyes red. Dr. Okafor, I owe you an apology. A real one. What I did was inexcusable. I saw you, and I made assumptions. I treated you as less than. And you responded with grace I don't deserve. Amara studied her for a moment. You're right. You don't deserve it. But grace isn't about deserving. It's about choosing to be better than the hurt someone causes you. I don't know how to make this right. You make it right by never treating another person the way you treated me. You make it right by examining your biases and changing your behavior. You make it right by being the person who sees everyone, not just the people who look like they matter to you. Rachel nodded, tears falling freely now. When Amara finally boarded her own flight, business class on United, leaving in an hour, the entire gate area erupted in applause. 200 people stood and clapped for this woman who turned discrimination into an act of profound generosity. The final cost? $187,000. The impact? Immeasurable. The video of Dr. Amara Okafor's generosity went viral within hours. News outlets picked up the story. The airline issued a public apology and committed to bias training for all staff. Rachel was suspended, then quietly transferred to a non-customer-facing role. But the real story isn't about Rachel's punishment or the airline's response. It's about how Dr. Okafor chose to respond to injustice with extraordinary grace. She could have escalated, could have demanded to speak to managers, filed complaints, made it about her mistreatment, which would have been completely justified. Instead, she made it about everyone else. She transformed her pain into purpose and her frustration into generosity. Here's what this story teaches us. Responding to racism with grace doesn't mean accepting it. It means refusing to let someone else's smallness make you small. It means choosing your response instead of letting their actions dictate your reaction. But let's be clear, Dr. Okafor could do this because she had resources. Not everyone can respond to discrimination by spending $187,000. That's not the point. The point is that she saw past her own hurt to recognize others' needs. That's something we can all do, regardless of our bank account. If you witness discrimination, speak up like that young woman did. Don't let people be invisible. Use your voice to validate their experience. If you experience discrimination, know that your response is your choice. Anger is valid. Complaints are justified. But you get to decide how this moment shapes you. Share this story as a reminder that grace and accountability can coexist. Subscribe for more stories of real people responding to injustice in extraordinary ways. Hit the notification bell. And comment below, how would you have responded? What does grace in the face of injustice look like to you? Dr. Okafor showed us that being seen is a choice we make, for ourselves and for others. Let's choose to see everyone.